Get in the car. Get in the car.
Bitch!
The driver can be seen with his hands extended. Despite this, one officer climbed onto the hood and aimed his firearm at the driver. Moments later, the driver was forcibly pulled from the vehicle. As he was escorted to the patrol car, tensions were clearly high. After being secured, the driver appeared agitated in the back seat.
All right, go. Get in the car. Get in the car. Get in the car.
Bitch! Fucking hate white people, man. Fucking kill me now. Hurry up and kill me. I'm already ready to die. I don't care about my life, man. Do it!
Later, he calmed down and explained why he had been speeding.
Late to work, man. Late to fucking work. Lost my fucking job. Fuck it.
In the end, he faced multiple charges: speeding, running a red light, reckless driving, fleeing and eluding, from wrong-way driving at extreme speed to a forced vehicle stop. The incident once again raises questions about high-speed pursuits and use of force decisions.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, which is to say in the Paleo-Hebrew, Yahweh, which is the name of our Heavenly Father, meaning He is, and that is who the world ignorantly calls God. Bahashem, which means in the name, Yahweh Shai, which means He is our salvation, and that is who the world also ignorantly calls Jesus, a so-called black man who, by the way, only came for the Israelites, all right? Which brings us to our discussion / topic this evening tonight. Long hair, and on top of that, dreadlocks, okay? Long hair, as if it wasn't, bad enough that you a man wearing long hair, now you want to get dreads, okay? And we've seen from every circumstance that it didn't pan out good for those individuals with long hair dreadlocks, okay? From criminals, from the first guy speeding, getting pulled by the hair, thrown into the cop car, to football players getting tackled by pulling their dreads, their long hair, all right? And who wants to have long hair down to their waistline, especially if you're going to war, all right? If you're a man and you're going to war, having long hair isn't going to help you whatsoever. The enemy can use that as a weapon and pull you down, okay? Having long hair could be a matter of you escaping or getting caught, okay? So this is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 14. It reads, "Doth not even nature itself teacheth you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him?" See? Why? Because nature itself shows that women are supposed to have long hair, all right? It's a feminine trait, okay? And who wants to get pulled, like your hair to be pulled? Like that's a submissive, a submissive act, having somebody to pull your hair, okay? So let's read that again. 1 Corinthians 11 and 14. It reads, doth not even nature itself teacheth you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him? So then one has to ask themselves, where did this crave, or where did this phenomenon come all of a sudden? All right, and it came from those Rastafarians, okay? Benjamin, all right? Particular, the dreadlock, reefer, smoking individuals, that contributes that to Selassie, okay? Because our people never wore dreadlocks. Our people never, smoked reefer, okay? Now you may say, well, the Native Americans, they had a peace pipe. They were smoking peace pipes, albeit, but they didn't have dreadlocks and they wasn't smoking reefer, okay? And we seen what happened, all right? We seen what happened. The Most High sent this devil over here to come and conquer them, all right? The conquistadors, okay? Because your body is your temple, all right? Now it says, verse 15, but if a woman have long hair, so this is on the other spectrum, it is a glory to her. See? And this is why our women, particular Judah, the southern kingdom women, they have issues with growing their hair long, okay? Because why? They're under the curses, okay? But when the curses is lifted up off of us, our women are going to get back their long, beautiful hair, their glory, all right? But as of now, they wear weaves, they wear wigs, so on and so forth. Now, may you have a few women that have long hair in the southern kingdom? Yes, but by and large, the majority of our women, they don't have long hair flowing down to their butt, all right? But guess what? They're going to get it back in the kingdom once these curses get lifted up off of us. It says, but if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her. Why? For her hair is given her for a covering. See? Let's read number 16. It says, but if any man seem to be contentious, we have no such custom. See? As Israelites men, we don't have customs of wearing long hair. All right? This dreadlock swinging, Rastafarian, this goes back to other nations, other customs, all right? And that goes back to really that Selassie, okay? Because a lot of our brethren, Benjamin, they took up the Selassie and, Ethiopian, and they started wearing what? Dreadlocks and things of that magnitude, all right? Because that goes back to that Queen Sheba, all right? But as far as Israelite men, we didn't wear long hair and we didn't wear dreadlocks, okay? So it says, but if any man seem to be contentious, we have no such custom, neither the churches of the Most High. Let's look at that word contentions, okay? Sometimes it's a good, just look up a word or two, see what it may be revealing. Found of strife, contentious, in a good sense, emulous. All right, let's look up some of these words. Friend, to be friendly to one, wish him well. So now what we're going to do, we're going to see how this reads in a different translation. It says, but if anyone wants to argue about this, I simply say that we have no other customs than this, and neither do the Most High other churches, all right? So we ain't going to sit here and argue. We're going to give you the cold, hard facts, and if you can't receive it and you don't want to acknowledge it and you want to continue to wear your dreadlocks and your long hair like a woman, go, by all means necessary, go ahead and do it, all right? But just know, hey, in the midst of battle, you don't know. That could be the difference between you getting away and you getting caught, okay? But if any man seemeth to be contentious, see if we can find another translation. Let's see what the BBE, Basic Bible English. Yeah, let's read the BBE. It says, but if any man will not be ruled in this question, this is not our way of doing things. And it is not done in the churches of the Most High. See? And we are the churches. Okay? So you wearing long hair, especially because you got certain individuals, they come into this truth. They don't want to cut their dreadlocks, and they use the age-old excuse. Samson had long hair. Samson was a Nazarite from birth, all right? You are not a Nazarite. You didn't take the vow from birth, all right? So you have that lame old excuse that Samson had long hair and I can have long hair. Samson had braids, I can have dreads. Well, he had plaits, okay? He had braids, they weren't dreadlocks, all right? And he took that Nazarite vow from birth, okay? You came into the truth having dreadlocks, all right? You're supposed to put off that old man, okay? So it says, but if any man will not be ruled in this question, this is not our way of doing things, and it is not done in the churches of the Most High, see? So your long hair is not in lockstep with what the Most High says. Long hair is supposed to be for women, not for men. All right? Now, you can do with it what you will, but you just saw several instances where long hair, especially dreadlocks, got people caught up. All right? So it says, that's pretty much it. So this is just, hey, long hair, dreadlocks, they may not aid you in, whatever it is that you looking to do. All right? Now, you want to get them for the women. That's what Jake do it for. For the most part, he likes to get the dreadlocks like the women, for the women. But as far as aiding you in war and battle, having dreadlocks, we seen it on the gridiron, doesn't help you. And trying to get away from the cop, damn sure ain't going to help you. All right? So that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and, wrap it up. And we'll call it a night on this topic right here. This is 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. It reads, be sober, be vigilant. See, we going into some times like never before, Jacob's trouble. And you don't know how having long hair is going to affect you in that time. All right. It could be the difference from you escaping, or getting caught, as we saw in the first video. Okay. When these troops come marching in. All right, because you can almost believe they going to, hey, if the Lord ain't dealing with you, they going to yank you up by your hair and throw you into one of them paddy wagons and take you down to one of these detention centers and process you there. All right. So it says, be sober, be vigilant. All right. Hey, you got to forsake your life, man. All right. These dreads, that's your old man. You got to put off that old man. All right. See? If you're not willing to forsake your life for Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, how are you going to walk into the truth? All right. If you want your hair long down to your waist, so you can swing your dreads, or you feel like that's an extension of you, and you a man, hey, you got to forsake your life, man. All right. You got to cut them things off, man. All right. You got to cut them off. Okay. If you truly about this word. All right, because that's the hallmark of a woman, long hair. Okay, so it says 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant. How you gonna feel like a man with long hair, especially if your wife pull on it or your girl or whoever? Oh, baby, I just love your hair. I love running my hands through your hair and just seeing the flow and the luscious locks you have. Man, you pretty much a bitch, man. Bitch made, okay? You supposed to pull on her hair. Yet she's running her fingers down your hair and pulling on yours. Hey, man, you prior to the 70s, prior to the 90s and 2000s, men didn't wear long hair like that. They may have had an afro, but they didn't wear long hair and dread it up and wear it down to their waist, man. All right. That was frowned upon. All right. But see, this new age, man, going into the 90s and 2000s and up until now, they want to be all, prettied up and look good for the women, man. All right. So be sober, be vigilant, man. We in a time of, getting ready to go gird up our loins. All right. You can't gird up your loins and have long hair and trip over your hair, man. Gird up your loins. You put your garment in a knot so it don't get in your way, and you don't have long hair because why? That's going to get in your way. All right. You go to war with long hair, and it blocks your vision. You can't see the enemy coming. All right. You can't be sober. So long hair goes into a lot of things, especially if you're a man. All right. Being sober, being vigilant, because you can't prepare yourself for war if you have distractions getting in your way. And hey, Jacob always look for an excuse. I'll roll it up in a bun or I'll put it in a rubber band and tie it up, man. Hey, man, how about you just do what's customs to our heritage and don't wear and have long hair? All right. So it says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. See, he wants you in that mindset, man. That he just saying that because he don't got long hair. Okay, he just saying that because he wish he had long hair. He just saying that because nah, man. We telling you this because it's in the Bible and it's written for a purpose, man. All right, we don't know how that's gonna pan out, but when it's time to come, you gonna know. Damn, I should have never had long hair like that. Okay. But hey, it is what it is, all right? Take heed or take the directions from it and do what it will. Do with it what you will, all right? But you being warned, even on a simplistic, well, none of the laws are simple, but even on a, merit of having long hair, all right? The Lord addressed it, okay? So let's read it again, then we'll close out. 1 Peter 5:8, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. You got long hair, you're easier to catch. All right? So we're going to end up ending it on that note. And with that being said, pray someone was edified through this lesson. And until the next time, if it be the Lord's will, stay strong, stay in the faith. We're almost home. Shalom. Peace.